of what she'll have to tell us about today. We will, in addition to hearing from Mary, we will hear from Institute member Jinka Wang, who will present plant chemodiversity and new nature-inspired medicine. You'll see here that, among other things, Jinka is a tango dancer, which he's told me he will perform during his presentation. So, and then we will also be joined, Jinka will be joined by one of his graduate students, Alessia Levish. Alessia personifies a commitment that's at the very heart of Whitehead's mission. She embodies our commitment to guiding and nurturing the next generation of scientists. And so you'll be hearing from Alessia as well. So it turns out that Alessia is one example of many. At any given time, our labs are filled with more than 300 emerging scientists in training. And it turns out that of these more than 300 scientists in training, nearly half of them come to us from other countries. So this is a map, a distribution of where the entirety of the scientific staff, not just the trainees, but the entirety of the scientific staff of the Whitehead comes from. So the best biological researchers from more than 40 nations are drawn to Whitehead, enabling us to benefit from their extraordinary skills and creativity. And actually, it would be interesting if we had this map over time. We'd actually see the shifts over the 35-year history of the Whitehead as to where we've been drawing our scientists from. Anybody notice what country is second only to the U.S. in our staff? It's China. Interesting. So it's appropriate that we should be hearing from Jinka. Right. Oh, well, okay, no politics here. No politics right now. We have plenty of time for that in the third day of this meeting. So our principal investigators are committed to mentoring and training the people who have come from around the world to be with us and who will one day take their place, or I should say, will take my place in the lab. And on any given day, many of the researchers you'll see at Whitehead are preparing for or just beginning their scientific careers. So we've got everyone in our labs from MIT undergraduates, MIT graduate students, to the top rank of postdoctoral fellows and highly accomplished visiting scientists. These are all part of the mix, day in and day out. And it is that deep commitment to fostering future scientists that's one of the defining characteristics of Whitehead's unique culture. Another is a passionate commitment to innovation and discovery. And Jack Whitehead wove that into our institutional DNA from the outset. So Whitehead Institute is animated by a drive to question fundamental assumptions, to bring wholly new ways of thinking to bear on long-standing challenges. So we strive to not just do cutting-edge science, but to do courageous science. And by that I mean it is our ambition to carve wholly new paths into realms that no one else would even consider entering. And such courageous science is what our senior members are known for, and for the paradigm-shifting discoveries they brought about. And each day we try to instill that sense of intellectual courage in each of the young scientists we're training. And time again, the brilliant women and men who work in our labs have amazed the world with this new knowledge and new ways of thinking and working that they've created. So collectively, Whitehead Institute researchers are a powerhouse of discovery and new thinking. I'll just give you a couple of examples and ones that even those familiar faces among us might not have seen. It turns out that 5 of our members have been cited as among the most influential scientists in the world. And as a group, last year, our researchers published 121 peer-reviewed studies and reviews and gave scientific talks in more than 20 countries. Now, throughout the morning, we hope to give you a first-hand taste of what makes Whitehead Institute such an extraordinary place for biomedical research. Because at the end of the day, it is folks like you who help to make Whitehead Institute what it is, a place where stellar scientific minds have the freedom to ask questions no one has yet asked, and where we feel empowered to find answers that define the future of medicine and biotechnology. And that topic, the future, that's been on our minds a lot of late. Just this past Tuesday, 4 days ago, Bob Bradway, CEO of Amgen, gave a talk, spent a day with us at Whitehead. Bob believes that we stand at the dawn of what he calls the biocentury. What physics and engineering were in the 20th century, the life sciences will be to the 21st century. And that feels right to me. And we are laser focused on ensuring that Whitehead Institute remains a pioneering force in biomedical research. In fact, we're committed to helping define what the biocentury will be. And to that end, we've undertaken a broad-based strategic planning process to chart the future for Whitehead Institute. We've begun by asking ourselves some fundamental questions, and I want to share them with you. We're asking such questions as, what emerging research challenges should we be taking on? Now, that might seem like an easy question. Actually, there are 1,000 different directions in which we could go, and the hard part is actually to figure out what you're not going to do. It's actually a challenge to figure out where you're going to place your bets. So what emerging research challenges should we be taking on? Another question, how do we continue attracting the best young researchers from around the world? And how do we mentor them most effectively? Another question, how can we ensure that our unique Whitehead Fellows program continues to produce terrific scientific leaders? And then another one that might seem a little more accessible, but actually the answers to which are not obvious. What will our building look like? What should our building look like? And what new resources should it have? So guiding the planning process, thinking this through, and then overseeing the implementation of new initiatives and new capacities, this is going to require more time and a broader range of skills than any individual possesses. So I'm pleased to tell you about one key decision that I've already implemented. And that is, I'm adding 4 members of our institute's, that is 4 faculty members to the Whitehead Institute's leadership team. These are senior scientists who will work with me while continuing to guide their own individual research programs. So first, Terry Orweaver, who you'll see here plays the piano. Terry has been named director of the Whitehead Fellows Program, which enables stellar young scientists to establish their own labs right out of their doctoral training. The Fellows Program is one of the Institute's crown jewels, and building the program's visibility and its financial support are incredibly high priorities. And in addition to Terry, 3 other faculty have been named as associate directors of the Whitehead Institute, and they'll each spend a couple of days a month on leadership projects, on faculty recruitment and mentoring, and each will also focus on a high priority responsibility. And let me just introduce them to you. First here, Ian Cheeseman, who you'll see is badly addicted to dad jokes. Ian will provide faculty oversight for all of our core technical facilities. These are essentially technically focused laboratories that provide special skill sets to be available to all the laboratories at Whitehead. So Ian will provide faculty oversight of the core technical facilities, and he will be organizing scientific seminars. Peter Radine, who claims to have played power forward in college basketball. Any of you who have met him know he would be tall enough to fill this function. Peter will serve as Whitehead Institute's representative to the MIT Department of Biology, which is our primary academic home at MIT. And David Sabatini, who, as he says, if he wasn't a scientist, he would be a sculptor. David has actually told me that if he weren't a scientist, he would be an architect, but maybe architecture, sculpture, they're not too far removed. And this leads naturally to my having asked David, and he's agreed to provide guidance on the Institute's facility renovations and upgrades, which we should anticipate, therefore, will be highly artistic in the end. So their mix of skills, Terry, Ian, Peter, and David, their mix of skills, talents, and experiences will help position us extraordinarily well to meet the opportunities and the challenges ahead. This is a long-term planning process, and I more than welcome your thoughts, your input, your questions as we move forward on all of this. So now it is my pleasure to introduce someone who is at the same time very modest, but describes himself as as you'll see here, a rock star in science. That could be none other than Dr. Harvey Lodish, who will give us his personal history of Whitehead Institute. Harvey is a founding member, come on up Harvey, is a founding member of Whitehead Institute and a professor of biology and of biological engineering at MIT. Harvey is, I just have another 10 minutes of introduction, Harvey. I just want to make sure. Harvey is an expert in the biology of not only brown fat, but especially of red blood cell formation and the many diseases associated with this process, including anemia. Harvey is especially recognized for the pioneering work on, this is already switched over to, let me see. Oh no, that's fine, that's fine. Harvey is a pioneer in particular on erythropoietin, EPO. It's the hormone that controls red blood cell formation, and he studies the formation of fat cells and their roles in diseases like obesity and diabetes. And his research has led to a variety of practical applications and therapies, and he's co-founded several biotech companies, including Genzyme and Millennium. Currently, Harvey is studying the roles of non-coding RNAs in regulating metabolism and in development of blood, fat, and muscle cells. And with that, Harvey, take it away. All right.